The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to the July 16th, the wonderful Wednesday edition of today's Trader's Edge Show. I'm your host, Stevie Perseverance Rhodes, who absolutely knows that each of us should always be pioneers of our future versus prisoners of our past. Hope everyone out there is having a great day. Hey, let's make sure we have an extraordinary one. Now, the easiest way to do that is to always remember that life is happening for us, not to us. That's right. When you and I make that one little 2x4 shift, it means we can find the gift in every set of circumstance that life is going to toss at us. Now, today, you and I, we're going to go check on the circumstance of these markets. We'll go figure out what those bulls and bears, what those buyers and sellers are communicating to you and I at just past 11 o'clock in the morning. I do want you to know that I'm absolutely grateful for your presence here. But even more important than that, and that's this. During this next 53 minutes, I'm here to serve you. So feel free to send me an email. Send it off to Steve at TFNN.com. Inside the subject heading, please put radio show question. Of course, if you're inside our Tiger's Den, well, then any and every ping will do. So let's go ahead and get this show started on wonderful Wednesday. Of course, this is Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes. Welcome to the show. Well, we're beginning our day, as we have many mornings, with a mixed bag out there. You got the Dow up 56 points, S&P's up 4, NASDAQ down 40, NASDAQ 100, that is. Russell's up 13, transports are up about 2, 98 to the downside for the semis. You got gold that's up 21 bucks, printing out at 33.58. Silver's off 4 pennies at 38.08. Lights Recruit is down 91 cents. She's printing at 65.62 out there. We do have the ES Mini up on our screen, so I'll show you just kind of a perfect technical setup. The newsletter subscribers knew this morning, and it was just simply taking a look at the 30-minute time frame chart for the ES Mini, which formed a TD9 count topping pattern right at its TD9 count breakdown resistance level, which is at 6,300 even Steven. And that suggests that price would pull back to its oscillator and change line. That's exactly what has transpired. Since I wrote the newsletter, price also formed a new profile. That new profile has supported 62.79. 75, basically. We can see prices hit that. So now the key level to be watching for the afternoon to the upside, should we see a rally, is 6,300.50. If we close above that on a 30-minute time frame chart, that will trigger an A to B equals CD pattern to the upside, not drawn in here, but you can draw that in on your home screen. So that's the first thing that's transpired on the ES Mini. Again, when we take a look as I go through instruments on your request, oftentimes we'll see some kind of a top. You will hear me say, or a bottom, you will hear me say that price should go target that oscillator and change line. That's one of the other real powerful aspects of that tool. There's several of them, but what I have found, my experience, and when Polar Bear was alive, we did the tests on it. The percentage was so high that that's where price went to after forming a top or a bottom. And here it just simply worked on that 30-minute time frame chart. Now, there's a new piece of information that's available to us right now that wasn't earlier this morning, and that is a new weekly profile that is formed. So let's open up the weekly chart here for the ES Mini. These profiles, they also assist us with identifying key levels of support or resistance. In this case here, we can see that this new profile is forming above the prior profile. So from a profile standpoint, we are still in a very bullish market out there. This happens to be a bullish structured profile. What I mean by that, the top of the profile, that's at 63.43. That's also the top of the TD9 count pattern out there. The top of the profile is where sellers reside, period. The bottom of the profile is where buyers reside, 6,200.50. Now, The center line is where both buyers and sellers believe there's fair value within that range. Turns out that this morning, that's at 62.48. So at that 62.48, we'll just call it even Steven, same number of buyers and sellers. Well, if there's same number of sellers there and they're closer to the sellers lined up at 6,200, or buyers, I should say, at 62.48, lined up, so you've got that little buy zone between 6,200 and 60. That's also another bullish signal here for the markets. That does not mean that price won't get back to 6,200. It also doesn't mean that price won't get back to the 6,104 level. As I just mentioned, we were taking the 30-minute time frame chart. There's such a high probability that price will get back to that oscillator and change line. The however is the market profiles. We're not going to get back to 6,104 unless price can bust through that bullish structured profile zone, 6,200 to 6,248. Now, that's just from the weekly time frame chart. The daily has got support at 62.18 out there. With regard to TD9 count patterns, we talked about really the currencies yesterday. All of them indicated that we should see the U.S. dollar make a slight change in trend out there and move to the downside. When we take a look at other TD9 count signals, NVIDIA, we talked about that, I believe, yesterday. That is completing a TD9 count topping pattern today. Price should pull back to its oscillator and change line. It's only down at 167.62 or so. The weekly negated a TD9 count top. So again, our take on this and our take on the markets with all the tops that we have out there is we have all kinds of weekly patterns that have negated themselves. That tells us about a strong upward momentum move. Now, we've got to deal with those daily patterns, those daily topping signals. There's a plethora out there. But what we've got also going for us is what's going on up above us in the clouds. In this case here at NVIDIA is saying this is just a retracement back to support before it decides to take off to the upside. That's NVIDIA. How about Microsoft? Microsoft should go ahead and confirm a TD9 count top today, complete that pattern tomorrow. Bar number 8 formed yesterday. Bar number 9, in order to form this on Microsoft, must close above the close of bar number 5. Turns out that's at 501.48, so that's the number to watch. If Microsoft closes above that level, you will have a TD9 count pattern here. But again, if you look at Microsoft on the weekly time frame, it negated its TD9 count top last week. It did it after basically 1 week. 2 weeks. That is a strong upward momentum move on the weekly time frame chart. When you look at the monthly chart for Microsoft, there's nothing to suggest that there's any kind of a top inside of Microsoft. 30-minute chart, yeah, forms a Rhodes momentum indicator top, pulls back and tests profile support as well as its breakout level at 502 out there. So that's on Microsoft. Going to form a short-term top, maybe pull back. Now, in the case of Microsoft, the cool thing here, because price has been above the top of its bearish structured daily profile, counter trend move would end at 497.74. If price can even get back there. If we take a look at Adobe completed a TD9 count top. Let's see what this is doing as we speak right now. It is, it needs to hold. Oh, today's going to complete the TD9 count top, TD9 count bottom. My apology there. So on Adobe, we've got a TD9 count bottom on the daily time frame. The weekly time frame just has price. Let's just open this up here. Has price traded with inside its profile. Now, I would say it would be a buy on the daily time frame if we were back above the 365.65 level. When you're below a red oscillator and change line, it increases the probability of a move down to the next level of support. In this case here, 344.14 out there. On a monthly time frame, we've got a buy the D point bottom, a Gartley buy pattern that formed the week of the month of May in 2025 out here. So just a couple months ago. Not left to really discuss on Adobe. Palantir is going to go ahead and form a TD9 count top for its daily time frame today. That's as long as price closes above the close of bar number 5, and that close out there is 142.50. Price is traded above the top of its profile and its green oscillator and change line. So retracements here could be pretty minimal. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We get back to this break. Let's look at XPV, ONDS, AISP, Bitcoin, CRCL, and BTBT. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the Opening Call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. We'll go to those requests here in a moment. A little discussion in the den about gold. And if you take a look at the 30-minute time frame chart at 10:30, forms bar number 9 of that TD9 count, completes that at 11, and price is now taking off a bit. It's trading above resistance on the 30-minute time frame. That was at 33.48. Took a look at that. Your next real resistance here, this is just a consolidation with inside its daily profile out there. So your resistance levels up at 33.97. Gold has been consolidating sideways for the last couple weeks. I don't see anything changing that at this stage of the game out there. So let's go to our first request. That first request coming in from GTE would like to take a look at one of his favorite positions, and that is XPEV. Of course, on the daily time frame, pretty much illegible because of the gaps that are out there that are meaningless because of the currency conversions out here. So it really gets us back to the weekly time frame chart. And the weekly time frame chart tells us the following. Bar number 8 of a TD9 count bottoming pattern formed last week. In order for a TD9 count bottom to form on Friday, to actually form up, all we need to see is a close below 1831. So I'm assuming you're long, so you're looking for this not to rally for the rest of the week, basically, or at least if it rallies, that it closes below 1831 out there. Then you'll get your TD9 count bottom pattern. Now, that bottom on a weekly basis can also complete next week out there. Daily time frame, other than price trading with inside its bullish structured buy zone of its daily profile, 1669 to 1780. There's not a whole lot there that I can share with you. So hang your hat on the TD9s out there. You should see an XPEV bottom either between now and we'll call it next Friday out there. Let's move on to our next request. It's coming in from Tony and Christy. And Tony and Christy would like to look at first ONDS. They're looking for an entry point. Well, that entry point may come in a couple of weeks out here. If we look at the center panel chart on Tony and Christy, you'll see that a TD9 count top is going to go ahead and complete this week. This almost looks very similar to that 30-minute time frame chart for the ES Mini that we looked at during the very first segment out there. We're going to form a TD9 count top right at TD9 count breakdown resistance, $2.46. That suggests that price should pull back. Now, the daily time frame will negate its Rhodes Momentum Indicator top today. If price closes above 229, we're at 235 right now, so I don't know. So if price closes below 239, then that top will be in place out there. If not, the daily time frame chart would need another bearish reversal candle to confirm a Rhodes Momentum Indicator top to suggest that we're getting ready to pull back here. The thing is, on a pullback, the levels of support, let's assume that in the daily time frame that Rhodes Momentum Indicator top holds. So the first levels of support on a move lower would be 217. That's a daily oscillator and change line. Below that, you'd be looking at 201, the top of a new daily profile that is forming today. And that is the bullish message. So 201 would be the ideal spot to take on the entry point. And the reason I say that is if you look at the top of the weekly time frame chart, if you look at the weekly time frame chart, the top of its profile is 205. Now, if 205 and 201 fail to hold price, contain price, then we should see a move back towards the 178, 186 area. The weekly oscillator change line is at 167, so probably in that one, between 167 and what's called 186 out there. So be patient. This is rallied for 4 consecutive weeks. There really should be a 2-week retracement out there, but we're going to have to come back and really take a look at that daily time frame chart to make that analysis out there. So that's what I see with regard to ONDS. You're looking for an entry, so be patient here. It likely is a couple of weeks out there. Let's go take a look at AISP. Their second request, also looking for an entry point into it. As we take a look at its charts, it has a daily Rhodes Momentum Indicator top that formed out here on July the 8th. Price is now below profile support and its oscillator and change line. I don't see any kind of A to B equals CD pattern to the downside. What I see is the next level of support at 460. So 460 is one of those numbers you can put on your pad of paper here. That's one place. The second thing to consider is that the weekly time frame completed a TD9 count top 2 weeks ago. And as we had mentioned, price should pull back to test its oscillator and change line. It is doing that as we speak this week. Now, is this a buy area? Ideally, we actually closed lower this week. But we stay above that green oscillator and change line. So that really means sideways. The reason would be because, again, when you pull back that oscillator and change line, that can be a bottom out here. If you look at the bottom portion of the screen, you'll see this could be a 2-week pullback out there. Not that there's anything wrong with 1-week pullback, but 2-week pullbacks, 2 or 3-week pullbacks in this instrument on a weekly basis. Of course, a weekly pullback should be on a weekly basis. Have typically been a bottom point. We're lacking the bottom on the daily time frame. Tony and Christy, if you're wondering, what is it that Stevie's holding back? I'd like to see a bottom pattern on the daily time frame to then tell you to take a long position out there. So that's I'd be. It's Wednesday. Be patient for a couple of days, and let's see what happens. Go ahead and write back to me. We'll take a look at this on Friday. Rahul inside the Tiger's Den wants to take a look at Bitcoin. So I'll pull up Bitcoin. I believe it is the July contract that is still the lead contract out here. If we take a look at Bitcoin, whether it's July or August that we put up here, we're going to see the same thing. We would just see different profiles. So, and we'll put them both up there. What the heck? So you got the July contract. It's going to go ahead and complete a TD9 count topping pattern today. Now, in this case here, price remains above its oscillator and change line, which is green. That's a very bullish signal. That's at 115,625. And price is above a new profile that formed yesterday below price. That is a bullish message. So what that says to you and I is that what we should see for Bitcoin is some type of retracement back towards its oscillator and change line around 115,000, 115,640. Maybe even get down to 112,461. Before it resumes its move higher. Now, because I don't know whether you're trading July or August, let's go ahead and put the August contract up here. Again, we're going to say at least the same TD9 count pattern, I believe. And we may also, we've got a new profile that is also forming below price on the August contract. Again, that is a bullish message out there. So in this case here, price may be targeting the 14, 747 to 116, 614 area out there before it then decides to resume its move higher. That was the July and August contract for Bitcoin. Again, they are looking bullish. Let's go take a look at the next request, which is CRCL. Now, this instrument didn't have a lot of data out there, so looks like it started trading about 7 weeks ago. So I'm going to be able to give you basically not much. Yeah. The daily time frame, about the only thing that I can provide to you are the profile levels. And right now, prices trade above the top of its daily profile. That's at 211.19. You've got support, or as buy zone, I should say, between 180.32 and 189.14. Trading above and closing above 211.19 for 2 consecutive closes provides you with a profile change in trend, and would suggest you head back towards a 280-ish level, the top of its... No, that was an old profile. That takes us back towards the 300 level. So what you're watching for on a daily basis is what type of volume is in this instrument as price approaches 232.48. Is it more than 99 million? Is it less than 99 million? If it's more than 99 million, that's telling you that price wants to run up to the 298.99 level. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This portion of the Trader's Edge is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Welcome back, folks. Our next request from Night Tram inside the Tiger's Den is for BT trading at $3.76. It's trading with inside its daily profile. That's got support at 315, resistance at 407 out there. I don't see any kind of a top. I just see a consolidation with inside its daily profile. We had a 4-day retracement, and now we've got a move of... looks like, I don't know why it didn't populate in the bottom, a couple of days to the upside at least. On a weekly time frame, what we have here is price trading above profile resistance. It does have a sell the D point top that formed last week with the bearish shooting star. However, did it really form last week? My answer to that question would be no. And the reason is because we had both a bearish shooting star candle, but we also had a gap to the upside on the weekly basis. And so if I were to fill in that candle into that gap, that would not be a bearish shooting star candle. So I do not have a top, technically speaking, on the weekly time frame. We have price trade above 347. That's its TD9 count breakdown resistance level. A close on Friday above that would be a bullish outcome. That bullish outcome should then lead us to the 480 level. That's assuming that price can clear 407, the top of its daily profile. So consolidation on the daily, weekly looks bullish, monthly also trading with inside profile, 480 being the next resistance zone for it. So hope that helps you out, Night Tramp. Thanks as always for your request. The same goes to Duncan Steve. Thank you for these two requests out here. The first one being Marvell. MRVL is a ticker symbol. Marvell on a daily time frame is pulling back after forming a TD9 count top, and it's doing that today. It's testing its TD9 count breakout level as well as the bottom of its profile. That's at 6804. Now, there's no buy pattern out there, but oftentimes getting back to the breakout level can, in fact, be a buy. 6804. If price were to close below 6804, well, then it certainly was no buy. It's saying goodbye. We want lower price. Well, close below 6804. It'd really be a close below 67.75-ish, because that is the weekly oscillator and change line. Not that I have a top on the weekly chart, but prices inside its bearish structured weekly profile. And therefore, if price were to give it up, and that means close below its red oscillator and change line, it would really increase the odds of a move lower, and that move lower would be 52.85 out there. So the daily time frame, possible that it has bottomed today. This is session number 4 to the downside. At a minimum, we ought to get at least a 2-day rally, or it could be a bottom. Again, like I say, I don't see a top on the weekly time frame. How about the monthly, Stevie? Monthly is trading with inside its profile. The range there, 60, 62, up to 90, 34 out there as a resistance level. So that's what's going on with regard to Marvell. Dunk, hope that helps you out. You also want to take a look at RGTI. Let's go see what it is communicating to you and I right now and everybody else. RGTI should be right here. It is trading out at 1509, and 1509 takes you above the TD9 count breakdown resistance level for the daily time frame. It also today may negate a TD9 count top, so you close above 1475, it's looking mighty bullish. In fact, if we close above, the real number that you want to see it close above is 1497, and ideally you'd like to see this do it with more than 77 million shares. So far for the day, we are at 97 million shares. So you close above, this is going to be pretty big. You close above 1530, you're going to get a gigantic, a ginormous A to B equals CD pattern on the upside. That would be confirmed. Now, on a weekly basis, the swing point has 231 million shares. On a weekly basis so far, we're up at 146. So let's say we are almost halfway through the trading week. We're not, but we're close. That's going to be about 300 million shares if this rate of pace were to keep up. So it looks like we're getting a confirm on a daily and a weekly. We won't know till Friday for sure. But if we do get that confirmation, you're getting an A to B equals CD pattern on the upside. That's going to get us towards the 1879 level. And there's not anything on the monthly time frame for RGTI that says that it doesn't want to do anything other than move all the way up to 2142. So we're on the watch list here to see if it can take out, close about 1530 today. If it does that, you're off to the races to the upside. What if it doesn't do that, Stevie? Well, then all that says is that price will be back up to 1530. Doesn't tell us whether it'll form the A to B equals CD pattern or not out there. So hope that helps you out. Oh, that was that was for Duncan. Dennis in West Palm Beach writes in, he'd like to take good Irene. RIEN is a ticker symbol out here. So let's go see what IREN is doing. First, it's trading with inside the sell zone of its bearish structured daily profile. That's between the range of 1672 to 1809. If price were to close for 2 consecutive sessions below 1672, we would likely see a move back to 1445, the bottom of its daily profile. But you do have a daily top out there. And how about in the weekly time frame, Steve-O? The weekly time frame negated a TD9 count top 2 weeks ago. It is strong like bull, just as the monthly is also strong like bull. Now let's go see what Irene is trading into. So now we see Irene. This was an IPO back in November of 2021. The volume on that trading month was 11 million shares. We have just hit the bottom of that swing point with 343 million shares. So if price can close out the month above 1713, it is telling you, because it would have closed inside a swing point with volume, that price would want to get up to 2825. If it closes below 1713, because we have volume, we're 1706, all that tells us is that the low will get tested again, the low being 1713 out there. So right now, I'd say odds favor that this is going to continue to move higher out there. What it really needs to clear in order to give you that all clear message is a close above 1864. 1864 would negate the daily Rhodes Momentum Indicator top. So I hope that helps you out, Dennis, with regard to Irene. You also wanted to look at the wild one out there. WLDN is a ticker symbol. I'm just making that up, folks. I have no idea what instrument this is. Unfortunately, on my white background charts, all that I get is the ticker symbol. I don't get the name. I've asked Ninja Trader to make that change numerous times, and I think it just falls on deaf ears. Not a problem, though. As we take a look at the wild one, WLDN out there, we see a TD9 count top, may even form a Rhodes Momentum Indicator top. Doesn't need it. One top is plenty. What should unfold out there is price should pull back to where? Geez, it could be just a measly pullback. 75.29, that oscillator and change line being that target. Now, below that, you'd have the top of its profile, 74.09 out there. So, the TD9 count top would be negated with a close above the high from 2 days ago, and that would be 77.28. So watch 77.28. You close above that, you're off to the race to the upside. WLDN, the wild one, is giving us the same set of pieces of information as many. Did I say many? I mean many charts. A weekly negated TD9 count top tells us about a strong upward momentum move going on the weekly time frame. And so we got all these daily charts with topping signals. I think they're just suggesting some kind of mild pullback out there. So the weekly is bullish as can be, and the same on the monthly time frame. So Dennis, I hope that helps you out. We'll be right back.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
In the the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pros pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. We're taking your ticker symbol CORT. This is for Hector and Patty. Hector, I think, is identified. Let's see if I can find that email again. You're looking at the high volume bar. You don't give me the date. So let me just see it. I think it is going to be the March 31st. Volume has about 14 million shares. The next day, this did 3 million shares. Yes, that's your high volume bar out there. Your question is, will price make a run for that? Well, we've really got to take things one step at a time, Hector. And so here's what I can share with you with regard to what's going on at the moment with regard to court. And that is that you've got price trading with inside its daily profile. What's being tested is resistance. The top of that profile is at 72.41. If you can get 2 consecutive closes above that, it's going to increase the odds of moving to 75.95. 75.95 is a TD9 count breakdown resistance level. If you can clear 75.95, that would be pretty good. But the weekly says, Stevie, you've got to clear 76.10, which means it's going to be higher than that number. That is the weekly oscillator and change line. So the only way you're going to get up even close to that swing point is first by taking out these resistance levels. So again, you've got 75.95. I'm not sure what the number is going to be. Call it probably 76. 40, 30, 40, something like that, the weekly oscillator and change line. And then if you can do that, then the next resistance point or battle is going to be at 79.67. That is the top of the monthly chart. If you can clear that, of course, not knowing anything else that might transpire between now and then, because there might be new profiles, daily profiles, weekly, who knows what. So can it get back there? Yes. But you got to find the patterns that are going to do that. And right now, what this market is always about anyways is being able to overtake resistance on a move higher and be able to hold support on any kind of a move lower out there, unless you're short, and then you want it just the opposite of that. So with regard to court right now, just again, consolidating inside the daily profile. You've got the 2 numbers that are important to watch. So, Hector and Patty, always good to hear from you, and thanks for writing in. GT writes back and says, hey, can we go take a look at KWEB? And the answer to that question is absolutely. If we take a look at KWEB, again, another Chinese stock out there, so the daily time frame basically is illegible. Just it doesn't provide us with a ton of information. Now, there is a TD9 count breakdown resistance level at 35.54, and price did run into that. But I'd rather look at the weekly chart so we can get rid of a lot of those gaps and everything. And the weekly charts show that we are trading above its green oscillator and change line with inside its bullish structured profile, and that increased the odds that we should see a move to 36.24. 36.24 is the top of the weekly profile. If price get above that, you then have resistance at 36.79, the top of the monthly profile. If you get above 36.79, then you should be off to the races. Of course, we'd want to come back and take a look and see what new information is provided to us. But that's what's going on when we take a KWEB. You also wanted to take a look at the FXI. It's not that easy for me to pull it up on my white background charts to take a look at FXI versus the Australian dollar. But most certainly, if you're trading the FXI, that's what you want to do, because that's basically what you are trading here. The directional correlation is so solid out there in the patterns. You want to, if you're trading FXI, make sure you're paying attention to what's going on there. What I can share with you here, again, this is a daily chart that's got all kinds of gaps. They're irrelevant. It's because of currency conversions out there. Let's go back to the weekly time frame. The weekly time frame has a TD9 count top that is under attack. What I mean when I say under attack is price is now traded inside that swing point. That's a swing point from March 21st. And the range there was 36.36 at the bottom, 38.73 at the top. 249 million shares traded hands that week. We're halfway through the trading week, and so far we've got volume of 81 million shares. What's that tell us? We're trading into that swing point with volume. We're trading into the sell zone. That's between 36.47 and 37.23. I'll be surprised if price takes out that sell zone based on the volume that we're looking at. But if it does, it does. And that increase the odds of making a run for that TD9 count top, but just by a smidgen. You really want to see price close inside a swing point with volume to, in fact, do just that. On the monthly time frame for FXI, you are trading above profile resistance, the screen oscillator and change line. So if price can take out that TD9 count top on the weekly time frame, again, that high was, because I don't remember it, 38.73. That'll get us up to 39.78. And 39.78 is the number that you really want to see price close above in order to continue to move higher. So that's what's going on with regard to the FXI. Rich in Oregon wants to take a look at red wire out there. That's RDW is the ticker symbol. So let's go take a look at it, which is trading out right now at 1686. And 1686 takes it inside its daily profile. So you've got a buy zone on a daily basis, Rich, between 1559 and 1583. Your resistance level is 1707. We did close above for one trading session out there. It's proving to be a strong resistance, 1707. Can't bust them up. Price might want to try to bust them down. That would take it to the 1559, 1583 level. On a weekly time frame, 1630, the oscillator and change line, that is your support area. Of course, that will move up and down by pennies or what have you. But prices above that, and its work to the downside may be done. Why? Because it's got a TD9 count top that took price back to that green oscillator and change line. We're trading about profile resistance out there. So I think what's likely to happen, I'd have to say you get at least you get a lower close today. That would be your 2-day pullback out there. They either go from 2 to 4 day pullbacks out here. So ideally, it's Wednesday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, you get a 4-day pullback going on Friday with price closing back above that oscillator and change on the weekly time frame. Rich, that would be an entry point. I would take a look at monthly time frame consolidation with inside that monthly profile, bullish structure, green oscillator and change line. Again, signaling that over time wants to get up to the 2666 level. So hope that helps you out, Rich. Thanks so much for writing in. We'll look forward to your next request out there. Mohammed writes in and would like to take a look at OFDL. Mohammed, I don't pick up that as a symbol out there. So please check that out again. See if you can write back. I don't know if we'll have enough time before the show closes out to take a look at that. But you also did want to look at PAWC. So that one I can pull up. I can't pull up OFDL out there. If we look at PAWC, what you'd love to see out here on a daily time frame is some type of bullish reversal candle. If you get that, then at this moment in time, you would confirm a Rhodes momentum indicator bottom. Now, part of your issues with the chart here, PAWC, is that you've got a new profile forming today above price. So you have overhead resistance, kind of a bearish message out there. So even if you did get a bottom, we're probably only looking at a counter trend move up towards that 227.12 level, the bottom of this new profile. The weekly time frame, which has a Rhodes momentum indicator top, is trading below all kinds of support, says it wants lower price. Lower price where? Well, turns out that the top of the monthly profile is 214.52 is where price is gunning for. Not that it can't get lower than that, because it most certainly can, and that next area would be about the 202.76 level out there. So daily, it did negate a TD9 count bottom. You will have to respect that Rhodes momentum indicator signal, but more so respect the new profiles that have formed above price. And they're telling us that PAYC, Mohammed, is more likely to lead to lower price before we start moving to higher price. So I hope that helps you out there. Let's see who's writing in here. This is, can we do the SPY if you have time? We most certainly can take a look at the SPY. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
Welcome back, folks. S&P Inside the Tiger's Den wants to take a look at the SPYs out there. Let's start with the monthly time frame chart out here. On the monthly time frame chart, what you're going to see is a sell the D point top that failed last month. So here's your A to B equals CD pattern. You get a nice dark cloud cover candle. That forms December 2024. We get the pullback. That pullback tests the bottom of its profile support. That was that pullback into the April 2025 time frame out there. And then last month, price negates the TD9, negates the sell the D point top by closing above both profile resistance as well, but more importantly, the dark cloud cover resistance level out there. So the monthly chart for the SPYs, again, longer term, is all out bullish breakout mode. The weekly time frame chart, much like we looked at for the ES Mini, the SPY is attempting to form a new profile below price. It has a TD9 count top. So on a pullback out there, I would expect price to pull back towards a 605.20 to 608.09-ish type area, both its oscillator and change line, and the top of that profile out there. Likewise, a close above the high from 2 weeks ago for the SPY, and that's at 620, 628. Negates that signal, adds to what the monthly chart is saying that says we are taking off to the upside. The daily time frame has a TD9 count top, and yesterday formed a Rhodes Momentum Indicator top. What is the SPY not doing? It's not breaking through any kind of support. It still remains above the top of that profile out there at 620.06 out there. So my suspect is that we're looking at maybe short-term choppiness and so on and so forth out there. Let's go look at that next request. The next request is PACB. PACB for Nitram. This is trading at $1.49, trading into a swing point from a couple of weeks ago. Just waiting for to get my cursor here. That swing point from back on July 3rd at volume of 13 million. You're into it so far with 8 million, so it should at least test the high. That high being $1.64. We're above profile resistance on the weekly. This looks pretty good. Looks pretty good on the monthly as well. And real quickly here, ODFL was the request there from Mohammed. See if this popular, it's testing its buy zone right now, Mohammed. That's between 160.48 and 161.83. If you close below 160.48, you're heading to the 155.05 level. Folks, stay tuned for all the great programming. Have a wonderful Wednesday. I'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow on Terrific Thursday. Take care and have a great day.